If you're looking for an athlete, I mean, someone whose entire career just screams relentless output, dominance across generations, and stats that seem, well, frankly impossible, you're really only talking about one name. Cristiano Ronaldo dos Santos Aveiro.
CR7. Everyone knows him.
Exactly. Known everywhere as CR7. We're talking about a player who's blown past 1,200 professional appearances. He scored over 900 official senior goals. Think about that.
900. It's staggering.
It makes him the top goal scorer in the history of the sport, and on top of that, the most capped male international player ever. The sheer volume, it's just unmatched.
It really is.
So today, our mission is a real deep dive into the evolution of, well, arguably one of the greatest players ever. We want to trace his path, across all those different clubs, the international stage.
And really analyze how he did it.
Yes, exactly. How did he build this empire? What's behind that longevity, that almost unparalleled career filled with broken records? This isn't just listing achievements, it's looking at the engine behind the perpetual winner.
The mechanics of greatness, maybe?
I like that. Okay, let's get the big numbers out right away because they really frame everything. 5 Ballon d'Or awards.
5.
5 UEFA Champions League titles. He holds the Champions League record's most goals. That's 140.
And most assists, 42. People sometimes forget the assists.
Good point. But maybe the stat that speaks loudest about his adaptability, what makes his career so unique, he's the only player, the only one, to score 100 goals with 4 different clubs.
4 different clubs. England, Spain, Italy, and Al Nassr technically counts towards that now, right? Although the 100-goal stat usually refers to United, Real, Juve.
Right. The 100 goals is United, Real, Juve. The top scorer in 4 leagues adds Saudi Arabia. But still, scoring 100+ at 3 massive clubs in different leagues. That's dominance defined differently. Global dominance. Adaptation.
It really speaks volumes about his focus, doesn't it? His professional mindset to hit those kinds of milestones in completely different systems, different cultures, different leagues. That takes way more than just talent.
Oh, absolutely.
It demands this ferocious determination. And you can see it was forged really early on. To understand that hunger, you've absolutely got to go back to the start. Funchal, Madeira.
His roots.
Exactly. He was born in 1985 into a home that was, well, let's be honest, struggling. It was an impoverished Catholic family.
Right.
His mother, Dolores, she worked mostly as a cook, sometimes cleaning, just trying to make ends meet. And his father, Dinas, he was a municipal gardener, but he also had this part-time gig as a kit man for a local amateur club, and the Rinya.
And that's where Cristiano first started playing properly.
That's right. That was his first taste of organized football.
It's always a fascinating little detail, given how huge he became globally, that his name actually comes from a specific political figure.
Yeah, that's true. His dad, Dinas, was apparently a big admirer of Ronald Reagan, who was the U.S. president at the time.
So, Cristiano Ronaldo.
Directly from that. But yeah, going back to those early years, the background was really challenging.
You mentioned poverty.
The sources really paint a stark picture. His mother has spoken about it since. Because they were so poor, and her husband, Dinas, was struggling with alcoholism, they already had several kids, she actually considered terminating the pregnancy.
Wow.
Yeah. She said her doctor refused, thankfully. But when you hear that, you start to get a sense of the depth of that drive, that almost manic obsession with success that seemed to follow him. He needed to escape that scarcity.
And that kind of focus, that probably made school feel like a roadblock, especially if he was already good at football.
Exactly. By the time he was 14, he was apparently convinced he had the talent to play professionally. School discipline wasn't really working for him.
And there's that famous story.
The chair incident.
Yeah.
He got expelled after throwing a chair at a teacher. He claimed the teacher had disrespected him.
Right.
After that, he and his mother basically agreed. That was it for formal education. He didn't finish past the 6th grade. The focus became entirely, unrelentingly on football.
It's a huge gamble.
A massive gamble. Total commitment to this one path.
But the really astonishing part of this early period, the bit that makes you think, gosh, we nearly missed out on this entire career, is the health scare when he was 15.
Oh, yeah. That's the absolute must-know detail. At 15, diagnosed with tachycardia.
Which is a racing heart condition.
Exactly. His heart was beating abnormally fast, erratically. For a young athlete training at a high level, that condition could have been fatal, or certainly career-ending. The physical demands were just too high.
So what did they do? I mean, heart surgery sounds serious, usually means a long recovery.
The procedure was pretty advanced, actually. It involved laser surgery. They used a laser to cauterize, essentially burn away the tiny areas of heart tissue that were causing those erratic electrical pathways.
Okay.
But here's the bit that shows that teenage drive, the recovery. The sources say he was out of the hospital just hours after the surgery.
Hours.
Hours. And back in training only a few days later. Just think about that resilience. Most athletes, pros even, would be out for weeks, maybe months. He just refused to lose momentum. Incredible.
That surgery basically saved his dream. And that path led him to Sporting CP's youth system. He joined when he was 12.
Yep, for a fee around £1,500 back then. He was already on the radar, though. Big clubs in Europe, Liverpool, Arsenal, they knew about this talented kid in Portugal.
But the jump to Manchester United, arguably the biggest club in the world then, how did that happen so quickly?
It was one specific game, a pre-season friendly in 2003. Sporting hosted Manchester United at the inauguration of their new stadium.
And Sporting won.
They did, 3-1. But it wasn't just the result, it was Ronaldo's performance. This young winger just tore United apart. Apparently, the United players on the flight back were just buzzing about him, telling Sir Alex Ferguson, "You've got to sign this kid."
So the players themselves pushed for it.
That's the story. They were stunned by him. The original plan might have been for United to sign him and maybe loan him back to Sporting for a year.
But Ferguson wanted him immediately.
Ferguson was decisive. Called him one of the most exciting young players he'd ever seen. Didn't want to wait. So, August 12, 2003, Manchester United signed him. £12 million.
Which was a record fee for a teenager in England at the time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Huge money, huge pressure straight away.
And that pressure, that record fee, it was immediately dialed up even higher by the shirt number he got. The iconic number 7.
Yeah, the legendary number 7. He actually asked for number 28 first.
Which he wore at Sporting, right?
That's right. But Ferguson insisted. He gave him the 7th shirt of Best, Cantona, Robson, Beckham.
Wow. Talk about weight.
And the sources say wearing that number, it became this extra source of motivation for him. It wasn't just a number. It was like a challenge, a demand to live up to that history.
And Ferguson's role here was crucial, wasn't it? More than just a manager.
Oh, absolutely. Ferguson wasn't just buying a player. He was kind of adopting a project. Ronaldo often called Ferguson his father in sport. Said he was hugely influential.
How so? In what way?
Ferguson really shielded him. Shielded him from the immense pressure, from the media scrutiny, allowed him space to develop that raw talent without just getting crushed by expectation or by the criticism, which definitely came.
Because he was flamboyant, wasn't he? Especially early on.
Oh, yeah. Early United Ronaldo was all about speed, agility, incredible technical skill, and those signature tricks. The step-overs, the flicks.
The stuff that got him noticed, but also drew a lot of fire, particularly from the British press.
Right, the infamous show pony debate. Pundits like Alan Hansen were really critical. They basically said that the tricks were pointless, all style, no substance. When's he going to deliver an end product? That kind of thing.
Felt like he was just showing off rather than being effective.
That was the narrative for a while.
Yeah.
Too elaborate, not enough goals or assists.
But his teammates seemed to see something more, didn't they? Like Gary Neville.
Yeah, Neville defended him publicly. Said something like, he's not a show pony, he's the real thing. The players saw the work ethic, the dedication behind the flash. They knew it was serious.
But the real turning point, when that show pony label really got blown away, that seemed to come after that controversial incident at the 2006 World Cup.
Ah, the Wayne Rooney incident.
Yeah, the wink and everything. It caused a huge backlash. He got booed relentlessly by opposition fans when the Premier League season started back up. How did he react to that kind of hostility?
He thrived on it. Honestly, that intense booing seemed to just fuel him. Instead of crumbling, he channeled all that negativity, all that pressure into just relentless performance.
And the 2006-07 season became his explosion.
His definitive breakout season, yeah. He smashed the 20-goal barrier for the first time. But more importantly, he did something incredible. He won all 4 main PFA and FWA awards.
Player of the Year, Young Player of the Year, Fans Player, Writers Player, all in one season.
All 4. The first player ever to do it. That clean sweep basically announced, forget show pony, this guy is the best player in England, full stop, no debate.
And that domestic dominance quickly went global.
Absolutely. By 2008, he's only 23, and he wins his first Ballon d'Or. First United player since George Best, like 40 years earlier.
Wow.
And in that same season, he won the Premier League Golden Boot and the European Golden Shoe. He was the first winger ever to win the European Golden Shoe.
That's incredible. It shows the transformation, right? Not just tricks, but lethal end product.
devastatingly effective. He was scoring all types of goals by then. Headers, free kicks, long shots.
And some of those goals were just outrageous. That one against Porto in 2009.
The Puskás Award winner.
Yeah.
40 yards out, wasn't it? Just an absolute missile.
Unstoppable.
He won the very first FIFA Puskás Award for that goal. He even said later it was the best goal he'd ever scored. It felt like the perfect exclamation point on his time at United. He'd learned everything, achieved everything he could there. Time for the next stage.
And that next stage involved a transfer that just shattered the world record. 2009, leaving Manchester United for Real Madrid. 80 million.
About 94 million at the time. Just a mind-blowing figure back then.
And the arrival itself was a spectacle.
Oh, the presentation at the Bernabeu. That was unprecedented. The sources say at least 80,000 fans turned up. 80,000, just to see him unveiled in the white shirt.
That beats Maradona's unveiling at Napoli.
Yeah, surpassed Maradona's record from 25 years earlier. It wasn't just a player signing, it was like royalty arriving, an icon claiming his throne.
The pressure must have been immense, but he hit the ground running in terms of scoring.
Instantly. Adapted to La Liga immediately. Scored 33 goals in his first season.
Although they didn't win any trophies that year.
No, trophyless that first year. But once Mourinho came in and the team structure solidified, his goal rate just went stratospheric. It was his statistical peak, absolutely.
Let's dive into those Madrid numbers because they are genuinely hard to comprehend. They define that golden era.
Absolutely dizzying. Okay, so his third season, 2011-12, he scores 60 goals. 60 in all competitions.
He's a good goal.
60. That firepower drove Madrid to the La Liga title with a record 100 points. And in that season, he became the first player ever to score 40 goals in a La Liga campaign.
Just rewriting the record books every year?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
This wasn't just scoring. It was like overwhelming the opposition through sheer relentless volume.
And during this time, he wasn't alone up front, the BBC trio.
Right, the BBC Bale, Benzema, Cristiano. That attacking trident was lethal. It gave him the platform to just maximize his goal-scoring instincts. They played off each other brilliantly.
And the individual awards kept coming.
4 more Ballon d'Or during his time in Madrid, 2013, 2014, 2016, 2017. It cemented him not just as a great player, but as a statistical phenomenon.
But the defining competition for Real Madrid, and for him personally during that decade, it has to be the Champions League.
Oh, absolutely. The Champions League became his stage, his kingdom almost.
Décima.
The obsession. And he delivered it. In the 2013-14 season leading up to La Décima, he scored 17 goals in that single Champions League campaign. That's still the record.
17 goals in one European season.
17. And then in the final, against city rivals Atletico Madrid, they finally won it. And he scored in that final, making him the first player to score in 2 Champions League finals for 2 different winning teams, United in 2008, Madrid in 2014.
And the consistency over the next few years in that competition is just unbelievable.
That's the key. It wasn't a one-off. He finished as a Champions League top scorer for 6 seasons in a row.
6 consecutive seasons.
6. And during that period, Real Madrid won 4 Champions League titles in 5 years, between 2014 and 2018. That sustained dominance in Europe's elite competition, arguably the greatest run by any club in the modern era, and he was the spearhead.
And he broke club records at Madrid with incredible speed, too.
Yeah, his efficiency was insane. He became Real Madrid's all-time top scorer, smashing rivals' record. He got 311 La Liga goals, but he did it in way fewer games than Real needed.
Just highlights the relentless rate of scoring.
Exactly. And just to put a number on that era's output, his 600th senior career goal came in the 2017 Champions League final win against Juventus.
His future club, ironically.
Yep. Little did we know then.
So that Madrid era, that was undoubtedly his peak as this hyper-efficient, almost robotic goal machine. But, as you mentioned earlier, the really fascinating thing is his ability to keep going, to adapt, to reinvent himself after that peak. Which brings us to the third act, Italy.
And that reinvention is maybe his most impressive feat. After 9 dominant years in Spain, 2018, he makes another huge move, joins Juventus. The fee. An initial $100 million.
Which was massive for a player over 30.
The highest fee ever paid for a player over 30. It showed his market value, his brand power. It hadn't diminished at all, even as people might have thought his absolute physical peak was just behind him.
Now, the official reason given was needing a new challenge, wanting to conquer Serie A. But there were whispers, weren't there, about why he really left Madrid?
There were. While the new challenge narrative was strong, he did make comments later suggesting he felt a bit unsupported by the Real Madrid president Florentino Perez toward the end. Maybe a breakdown in that relationship played a part.
So perhaps a mix of ambition and maybe some behind-the-scenes friction.
It seems plausible. Whatever the exact reasons, the move itself showed that incredible ambition was still burning bright. He wanted to prove himself all over again in a notoriously difficult league for attackers.
And prove himself he did. He achieved something genuinely historic in Italy.
Absolutely unprecedented. By winning the Serie A title with Juventus in his first 2 seasons, 2018-19 and 2019-20.
He became the first player ever to win league titles in England, Spain, and Italy.
The big 3. First ever to do it. And then, just to hammer the point home, in the 2020-21 season, he won the Capocannoniere, Serie A's top scorer award,
making him the first player to be top scorer in England, Spain, and Italy.
That triple crown of scoring titles across those leagues, it's an unbelievable testament to his adaptability and his enduring quality.
But to do that in his 30s, in Italy, he had to change how he played, didn't he? The explosive winger from United, the powerful wide forward from Madrid. That wasn't quite the Juventus version.
No, and this tactical shift is, for me, maybe his greatest professional achievement. He recognized that aging changes things physically. He couldn't rely on those searing 50-yard runs past 3 defenders anymore.
So what did he become?
He consciously transformed himself. He became less of a dribbler, less of a creator from wide areas, and more of a diddly poacher, a penalty box predator, sometimes described as a free-roaming center forward.
Fewer dribbles, more focus on finishing.
Exactly. He cut down drastically on his dribbling attempts per game. Instead, he focused everything on intelligent movement off the ball, finding space in the box, anticipating crosses, and ruthless short-distance finishing. Clinical.
What does that intelligent movement look like in practice, especially against those tight Italian defenses?
It's about efficiency, reading the game. Conserving energy for the crucial moment means seeing the flight of the ball a fraction of a second before the defender, making tiny adjustments to his position inside the box, using his body, his timing, that incredible leap we'll talk about, to get to the ball first in tight spaces.
Exploiting that half yard.
Exactly. He knew he couldn't outrun everyone anymore, but he could outthink them. His positional sense became paramount. He shifted the burden from pure athletic explosiveness to football IQ and technique in confined areas. It brilliantly prolonged his effectiveness at the highest level.
That evolved, smarter player was the one who then made that emotional, headline-grabbing return to where it all began in Europe, Manchester United in 2021.
Huge news. And the commercial impact was immediate, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Broke shirt sale records instantly.
Phenomenal buzz. And he even hit another massive milestone there, scoring his 800th career goal during that second spell.
Yeah, 800 goals. Incredible landmark. It started with a lot of hope, a real feel-good factor.
But it soured pretty quickly.
It did. The timing wasn't great. United were in a difficult period, struggling for identity on the pitch. They ended up having their first trophyless season since 2010 while he was there. Frustration clearly started building on all sides.
And the ending was, well, messy is probably an understatement.
Very messy, very public. The relationship deteriorated rapidly.
Yeah.
It all came to a head in November 2022. His contract was terminated by mutual consent,
Right.
but only after that explosive TV interview.
Where he really went after the manager, Erik ten Hag, and the club's owners and structure.
Yeah, he accused them of betrayal, lack of respect. It was raw, critical, and ultimately untenable. A really unfortunate high-profile end to his second chapter at Manchester United. Showed a clash, maybe, between his relentless winning demands and a club trying to rebuild.
That sudden exit paved the way for the next, perhaps most unexpected chapter, the move to Saudi Arabia.
The Nassr move in late 2022, early 2023. That sent shockwaves through football. And the reported salary figures, just astronomical.
Highest ever in football.
Reported widely as that, yeah. Around $200 million per year, including commercial deals. Just staggering money.
And beyond the money, his move had a huge impact on that league and on player movement globally.
Absolutely. The BBC and others called it the start of a revolution for the Saudi Pro League. After he went, you saw this flood of other high-profile European stars making the same move. He was the catalyst, the first megastar to take that step.
And true to form, even in a different league, a different environment, the records kept coming.
The competitive drive is just relentless, isn't it? In the 2023-24 season, he finished as the Saudi Pro League's top scorer.
Making him the first player ever to be the top scorer in 4 different top-flight leagues.
England, Spain, Italy, and now Saudi Arabia. Another completely unique record. And he also ticked past 900 career goals in 2024 while playing for Al Nassr. It just shows, wherever he plays, the goal-scoring obsession remains.
So while he's conquering club football across Europe and now Asia, he's simultaneously building this incredible record-breaking international career with Portugal. Talk about longevity.
Unparalleled is the only word for his international career. The numbers are just mind-bending. 223 caps.
The most ever for a male player.
Most ever, and 141 goals.
Also the most ever internationally, by a distance.
By a huge distance. And it started so young. He debuted for Portugal when he was just 18, back in 2003.
Scored his first goal at Euro 2004, which Portugal hosted.
Yeah, scored in the opening game, helped them get all the way to the final. They lost heartbreakingly to Greece, but he was named in the team of the tournament. He'd arrived.
But the ultimate triumph, the redemption for that 2004 final, came at Euro 2016.
Portugal's first ever major trophy. A massive moment for him and the country. Although the final itself was incredibly dramatic for him personally.
He got injured early on, didn't he? Had to come off.
Yeah, stretched off in tears in the first half against France. But then his role changed. He was on the sideline, pacing, shouting instructions, basically acting like a second manager.
Showing a different kind of leadership.
Exactly. Passionate vocal leadership from the bench. It was quite a sight. And they won it. He lifted the trophy as captain. Despite the injury, he won the silver boot for the tournament, and it definitely helped propel him towards his fourth Ballon d'Or later that year.
And his World Cup records are just as impressive, spanning 2 decades.
The longevity is insane. Scored his first World Cup goal back in 2006. Fast forward to 2018 in Russia.
The hat-trick against Spain.
Phenomenal performance. And he became the oldest player ever to score a World Cup hat-trick. Then, 4 years later, Qatar 2022.
He scores again, making him the first man to score in 5 different World Cups.
5 World Cups with a goal. Just incredible consistency. And then, just to cap it off, Euro 2024 made him the first player to feature in 6 European championships. 6. He basically owns the international record books.
It's staggering. Now, we can't talk about Ronaldo's global impact without talking about his celebration. The Suo.
Ah, the Sioux. It's more than a celebration now, isn't it? It's like a global phenomenon.
Instantly recognizable. The jump, the turn, the landing.
That power stance, yeah. And the sound itself. Everyone knows it.
And the origin of the sound is interesting. It's not quite what people might think.
Right. A lot of people assumed it was maybe Spanish or Italian for yes. But he clarified it. It actually comes from the Portuguese word sim, which also means yes.
Sim. Suez.
Exactly. But he said the key is that he means for it to be said very strongly. It's about conviction, celebration, power. He first did it, apparently, in a friendly against Chelsea back in 2013. Said it just felt natural at the time.
And it stuck.
And how? It's probably the most iconic goal celebration in football history now. Imitated everywhere, in all sorts of sports. Pure theater.
That theatrical element, that showmanship, it connects directly to the whole package, doesn't it? The physical specimen, the controversial image.
They're completely intertwined. You can't separate them.
Let's talk about the physical side beyond just the goals. His athleticism is legendary, but that aerial ability, the stats on his jumping power are just ridiculous.
Yeah, his physical condition, he's obviously elite, key to his longevity. But the leap, it's almost superhuman. The sources confirm his highest recorded jump was 2.93 meters. That's over 9.5 feet.
9 feet 7 inches off the ground to head the ball. He did that against Manchester United in the Champions League back in 2013. Just think about that. That's higher than the crossbar almost. It gives him an advantage that's basically impossible to defend against if the cross is right.
Totally. It turns him into this massive aerial threat, especially as he moved more centrally later in his career. Years of specific training built that power. And you can't talk about his unique skills without mentioning the free kicks, the stance, the technique.
The knuckleball.
The knuckleball free kick.
Yeah.
His trademark for years.
Can you break that down? What actually is a knuckleball in football terms? How does it work?
Okay, so the idea is to strike the ball dead center with almost no spin at all. Because there's no stabilizing spin, the air flows unevenly over the seams of the ball as it travels.
Making it wobble.
Exactly. It creates unpredictable turbulence. The ball can dip suddenly, swerve unexpectedly, float. It makes it incredibly difficult for a goalkeeper to judge the trajectory. High risk, because if you don't hit it right, it can go anywhere. But high reward if you connect properly. Needs incredible power and precision.
And the whole routine before he takes it, the wide stance, pulling up the shorts, it's pure theater.
Oh, definitely. Mike Phelan, who was assistant manager at United, talked about this. He said, when Ronaldo does that whole routine, squares up to the ball, he's basically saying, everyone look at me, all eyes on me, this is going in. Phelan felt Ronaldo understood the performance, the marketing side, right from the start.
The ultimate showman.
He embraced it.
But that showmanship, that confidence bordering on, well, what some call arrogance, that's often been the source of controversy, hasn't it? The gestures on the pitch, the visible frustration.
That's the duality, right?
Yeah.
Central to his public image. He's been labeled arrogant countless times. He's addressed it himself, saying he feels he's sometimes a victim of how the media portrays him.
Saying it's competitiveness, not arrogance.
He insists it's his intense desire to win, his demanding nature that gets mistaken for arrogance. That fire is obviously what fuels his success, but the way it manifests sometimes, it definitely rubs some people the wrong way.
But the undeniable flip side to that perceived arrogance is the work ethic. Everyone praises that.
Universally praised. Unparalleled is the word often used by coaches, teammates. His dedication to training, to improving every single aspect of his game, his obsession with physical conditioning. It's legendary.
There's that great quote from the other Ronaldo, the Brazilian legend.
Right, Ronaldo Nazario. He said something like, he himself trained because he had to, but Cristiano trains because he loves it. That sums it up. It's intrinsic. People compare that relentless drive to Michael Jordan's mindset. Just constant self-improvement.
And of course, you absolutely cannot talk about Ronaldo's peak years without discussing the rivalry that defined a whole era of football. Him versus Messi.
Oh, the great duopoly. It's up there with the iconic rivalries in any sport, isn't it? Ali Frazier, Borg McEnroe, Ronaldo, Messi.
And the media loved playing up the contrast.
Absolutely. It was the perfect narrative. Ronaldo. The powerful, sculpted, maybe slightly arrogant showman. Versus Messi, the small, naturally gifted, seemingly humble, quiet genius.
Oil and water almost. But they pushed each other, didn't they?
Massively. The rivalry was arguably beneficial for both of them. They keep raising the bar because the other one was always there, breaking records, winning awards. Ronaldo admitted it himself, said something like, I pushed him and he pushed me as well.
Kept each other hungry.
For about 15 years. But interestingly, in late 2023, Ronaldo publicly stated that the rivalry was now over and gone, acknowledging that intense head-to-head era was finally finished as they moved to different leagues, different stages of their careers.
End of an era. And that global rivalry, combined with his physique, his goal scoring, his media savvy, it all turned him into this absolute financial juggernaut, one of the most marketable people on the planet.
The numbers are just nuts. Forbes has named him the world's highest paid athlete 5 times. His projected earnings for 2025 were reported as something like $275 million.
$275 million in a year.
Yeah. Salary, endorsements, everything combined. Just incredible earning power.
And that translates into the digital world, too. His social media presence is enormous.
He's basically his own global media empire. He was the first person on the planet to pass 500 million followers across Facebook, Instagram, Twitter combined. 500 million.
Unbelievable reach.
And just recently, August 2024, he launched his own YouTube channel, You Are Cristiano. It hit 1 million subscribers in 90 minutes.
90 minutes.
Fastest channel ever to reach 1 million subs. It just shows his power to instantly mobilize a massive global audience. Doesn't matter if it's football or content.
Okay, we should probably wrap up this deep dive by looking beyond the pitch, his legacy outside football, the philanthropic side, and also just touch on the legal complexities mentioned in the sources.
Yeah, his off-field impact is significant too.
Yeah.
Some of the honors are quite unique. There's the museum dedicated to him in Funchal, the Musea CR7.
Right, back in his hometown.
And they actually renamed Madeira's airport after him in 2016. It's now the Cristiano Ronaldo International Airport.
Imagine having an airport named after you.
It's pretty remarkable. But maybe the most astonishing tribute, the one that's literally out of this world, a distant galaxy discovered by astronomers.
A galaxy.
Yep, a galaxy discovered by teams from Lisbon and Leiden. They named it Cosmos Redshift 7, or CR7 for short.
They named a galaxy CR7.
In tribute to him. So his legacy stretches from a small island in the Atlantic to the depths of space. Quite something.
That is genuinely mind-blowing. And alongside that global fame, there's also a significant history of charity work, which maybe contrasts with that arrogant image sometimes.
Yeah, his philanthropic efforts are pretty extensive and often linked to his own experiences. After the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami, he flew to Indonesia to help fundraising efforts. He auctioned off his 2013 Ballon d'Or trophy, raising €600,000 for the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
And his mother's illness played a part, too.
Right. After his mother successfully battled breast cancer, he donated a reported £100,000 to the hospital in Madeira that treated her, specifically to help build a cancer center there. He's also covered costs for specialist treatment for children with serious illnesses.
And there's that interesting detail about why he doesn't have tattoos.
Yes, that's linked to his charity work, too.
Hmm.
He stated he doesn't have tattoos because he regularly donates blood and bone marrow. And in some places, having recent tattoos can temporarily prevent you from donating.
So that's a conscious choice tied to being able to donate.
Seems so. It's a quiet but powerful example of his commitment there.
Okay, and finally, just to ensure we cover all aspects mentioned in our source material, we need to briefly and impartially summarize the legal issues that have come up during his career.
Right. Objectively, the sources mention two main legal situations. Firstly, the tax evasion case in Spain. In 2018, he received a 2-year suspended prison sentence and was fined substantially around $18.8 million in total for tax fraud related to his image rights earnings between 2011 and 2014.
And the suspended sentence meant no actual jail time.
Correct. Under Spanish law at the time, first-time offenders receiving sentences of 2 years or less for nonviolent crimes generally don't serve time in prison. It's served as probation. So a hefty fine and a suspended sentence.
Okay. And the second issue?
The second relates to a civil lawsuit filed in the U.S. regarding a rape allegation stemming from an incident in Las Vegas in 2009. That case was formally dismissed by a U.S. district judge in June 2022.
Dismissed with prejudice. What was the reason given?
The dismissal with prejudice, meaning it can't be refiled, was based on the judge's finding of bad faith conduct by the plaintiff's attorney. The ruling stated the lawyer had repeatedly used confidential, hacked documents specifically, communications between Ronaldo and his lawyers protected by attorney-client privilege, to build and prosecute the case.
So the dismissal is based on the lawyer's conduct with those documents?
Yes. The judge ruled that this misconduct, the reliance on privileged information obtained improperly, had tainted the case so badly that it irrevocably prejudiced Ronaldo's right to a fair process, making dismissal the only appropriate sanction. It was dismissed on those specific procedural and ethical grounds related to the lawyer's actions.
Okay, thank you for clarifying those points factually based on the sources.
No problem. Important to stick to what the official ruling stated.
Absolutely. So that really brings our deep dive on Cristiano Ronaldo to a close. What a journey we've traced. From that kid in Funchal, dealing with poverty, a heart condition that could have ended it all, getting expelled from school.
So becoming this global icon.
The global icon who didn't just dominate one league, but actively reinvented himself. He evolved from that tricky, flashy winger into a ruthlessly efficient goal poacher, conquering England, Spain, and Italy, and now setting records in a 4th league in Saudi Arabia. It's unprecedented.
The adaptability is maybe the most impressive thing.
I agree. I think the ultimate lesson here, maybe even beyond the mind-blowing stats, is about the power of relentless reinvention. That drive, that competitive fire. He turned the early show pony criticism into this incredible multi-decade career defined by longevity and adapting to win wherever he went. It's a masterclass, really.
A masterclass in maximizing talent and ambition.
So he's already done the unprecedented top scorer in 4 different leagues. But knowing Ronaldo, knowing that constant quest for the next record, the next challenge, what could possibly be next?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Or maybe the $200 million question now.
Right. What's the next barrier that seems impossible, that his competitive spirit just has to break before he finally decides to hang up those famous boots? Is it scoring goals on a 5th continent? Is it making an appearance in a 6th World Cup? Or maybe even targeting playing in a 7th Euros?
Who knows with him? You wouldn't bet against him trying something unprecedented.
Exactly. That's the question. His 500 million followers and the history books are all eagerly waiting to see answered.